Greetings sailors and welcome back to World of Warships, and today I'm going to look at the Champagne because this is a ship you can actually obtain at the moment through the armory for resources. Basically you can dump in a bunch of resources and get yourself, if I can find the right section, there we go, salvage for victory, get yourself a Champagne as well as the Normandy ocean liner camo if you never had that before. So basically the research points, Elite Commander, coal and credits collectively will take you up to this point, and then you're going to need to either spend, well actually no, you can also I think use your premium time, and then you have to use doubloons for the Champagne flag. Now I already had the Champagne, but I did it anyway because partly I'm getting a bonus package out of it for a tier 8 ship, but also if you check the event rules, it will tell you that you'll get where are we? A tier 8 ship coupon. So that won't appear until after the event is finished. I guess they have to set it up so it they couldn't credit it automatically. I don't know, but yeah, I'd still decided I was going to do a video on the Champagne because I don't think this one's been on sale very often. It's one of those ones they at least I can't actually remember how they've made it for sale in the past or how often it's been on sale, but I really don't think it has been on sale very often, and it's kind of artificial scarcity rather than it's super overpowered or anything like that. So this we might consider to be a battle cruiser. I don't know if it truly has battle cruiser dispersion, but it does have improved accuracy for a battleship. It's also got very, very good AP shells, but that all comes with quite a lot of downsides. So although you've got this good accuracy, you've got these very, very strong AP shells, you've only got 6 barrels, and you're also pretty squashy. You actually have the least amount of hit points of any of the tier 8 battleships. You're not that far behind the Richelieu with what is it, 60, that's just shy of 64,000, and this is just shy of 61,000. So okay, it's not like it seems disproportionately bad, but where it really becomes quite squashy is when you look at the armor. The extremities are only 25mm and it's only got a 240mm belt. So it's not that great. You compare that to Richelieu, which has 330mm. So yeah, it's definitely not a frontline ship. This is a hang back and hope that your teammates don't all get sunk and you have to do some damage tanking kind of a ship, because it really sucks when it comes to that. I think I actually touched on this a bit when I was talking about the Flandre as an operations ship. And I was looking at them in that point in terms of their secondary barrels. Champagne actually does have almost as many secondary turrets. It's got 6 to the Flandre's 7. But I kind of discounted it because it is really very, very squishy and it does have less firepower. And the firepower, I mean, it's better than average. It's a less than 30-second reload, but not that much less considering you've only got 6 guns. It's also, just as an aside, I think the only French capital ship we have that has 16-inch guns. All of the other tier 8s have got 15-inch guns. I think the tier 9s also have 15-inch guns, and then you get to the Republique with its 431s. Bourgogne's got 15-inch guns. Patry's also got the 431s. So yeah, 16-inch is almost a kind of non-standard caliber for the French battleships. So yeah, it's kind of interesting in that regard as well. So yeah, it's not bad, but it's definitely not a standard battleship. Oh, and one other trait it does share with battle cruisers proper is that it has 1 fewer charge of a heal as well. So it's also squashier in that regard too. So here we are, tier 10 game. We have got CV in play on each side. and only a pair of destroyers, but there's also a pair of subs per team. The enemy team actually has the newly released 4501s, which you can get for coal, or you can spend a giant warship doubloons if you want. Only 2 cruisers as well, the rest are all battleships, so yeah, but I'm sort of going to pretend I'm a cruiser. One thing I didn't mention is that you do have a very, very good burn chance with your high explosive, but because the AP is so good, it's probably worth using that most of the time, but there might be targets where, like a bow-angled, God, I don't even know, like a bow-angled Stalingrad or something. There are times when that 49% burn chance is going to be quite useful. Oh, that's a bit of a hitch. I really hope my internet doesn't drop. It's been very flaky the last couple of days. And it's kind of been one of the reasons why it's sort of added to, alongside my lungs still recovering from COVID, it's one of the reasons why I've not been attempting to record that much. I think the next video I record will be something that doesn't require an internet connection to play. So, we're well within the 25 kilometres. Oh, that was dicey. Well within the 25 kilometres for the Hindenburg, so we're going to try our hand at that if it gets spotted again. Did the Thrasher go underneath the water? It did, okay. Yeah, this is one of the downsides of this ship. You're reliant on other people for spotting. And obviously that's less of an issue if you're in a division. But yeah, if you're not in a division, if you're playing solo, that then becomes an absolute downside of this ship. Because, yeah, especially in circumstances like this where you don't have a lot of destroyers or whatever that want to do spotting. I mean, our destroyers, one's a Marceau, so probably not really set up for stealth. The Forest Sherman is okay in that regard, but yeah, that kind of leaves one destroyer who's on the other flank and the submarines. And as you can see, our Thrasher's already tangling with Hindenburg. So that's a little unfortunate we didn't get the Hindenburg for any damage there, but the submarine certainly did. Ouch. Okay then. Hooray for tier 10 submarines. This is a positive in this circumstance of not going near the enemy, because I don't want to go near the enemy because the submarine's over there, for goodness sake. Now I might be a bit rusty with this. I haven't played it that much overall, and long range fire, you know, you've got to be a bit better at predicting how your shells are going to fall, essentially. And oof, yeah, see, there's that squashy armour. It doesn't help that Incomparable, of course, has very big guns. But that's a big chunk of my health gone already. Yeah, so the Hindis managed to get away. I'm not sure what I was still being spotted by. Possibly the Marceau? Oh, there's an enemy sub. Oh, that's fun. Okay, they didn't ping me. There is an enemy sub on this flank, though. We don't know where exactly. They were trying for a stealth drop. Yeah, I might get a bit sort of throat froggy, like having to clear my throat a bit or whatever. Just because talking, I've noticed, like if I'm talking for any length of time, that definitely makes my lungs a bit more unhappy, and my throat gets very kind of. Yeah. Anyway, there is a sub around here, so that's obviously a bit of an issue. What is my drop radius? 10 kilometers. Okay, that's decent at least. Like I said, the last time I played this is probably... I don't even know when it would have been, actually. It must have been when subs were in the game at that point. Alright, there goes our Forest Sherman. That's not so good. Incomparable. Are you... going full speed? It's kind of hard to tell. You do have a pretty good velocity on these guns. So it does somewhat ameliorate the issue of trying to lead. Even at that range, it really didn't take those shells that long to get there. That's part of the reasons why they have such good penetration, is that they do they do have a very good sort of barrel velocity. But also, that I think they're just fairly heavy shells. And I actually went back and skimmed over Little White Mouse's review of this from about 2 or 3 years ago. And one of the other things they actually do have is a very good crop value, which is one of those hidden factors, so they actually retain more penetration. High crop value means they retain more penetration over distance, essentially. It's why the the Murmansk. That's coming from behind. Hello, submarine. Okay. That's very sneaky. The Murmansk actually has better AP penetration than the Omaha, even though it has nominally the same AP shells as the Omaha. Right, this sub, I don't know if does the 4501 not get to ping, or I don't know, but they're basically just dropping they're dropping torps like a destroyer, essentially. So I have no idea. I have roughly, you know, direction indicator, but I don't have any clue where they are in terms of, like, I'm just kind of randomly dropping now. And I can't do anything more than that to be effective. Anyway. Right, we'll warn the CV. Because there's every chance they might try and go for this CV. It's a standard heal, by the way, if you're wondering about having fewer heals, so nothing special there. Right, we do seem to have them on the run on this flank, and we do actually have a couple more kills. And I guess because we got this cap, that's kind of adding up to a nice points gap overall. I've not really managed to land much damage so far, but there hasn't been a lot on this flank to actually shoot at. And I don't, this is why I was saying, I don't know if it has true battle cruiser accuracy. It's certainly improved accuracy for a battleship. And it's as close as the French have to a battle cruiser. Unless you want to start arguing semantics about, you know, the Dunkirk and the Strasbourg, but yeah. I don't know, I've always thought of those as being more sort of specialised battleships than anything else. But maybe it is arguable. But it's one of those things where, you know, sometimes it sort of depends who you ask. And different people have defined the same ship as different things at different points. And hell, that's not even new. You go back to the Age of Sail and you would frequently have, yeah, I guess the CV's not even, our CV's not even, the various Age of Sail navies, you know, as technology progressed, for you know, shipbuilding techniques and whatever, and cannons, you'd have what was formerly, you know, a third-rate frigate would be reclassified as a fourth-rate frigate and stuff like that. So yeah, but that's going back a bit far for the kind of ships we're talking about. Right, let's pop another speed boost. You can, of course, actually extend the speed boost with the, well, I think we're also with captain skills, can't you? But with equipment. But I haven't done that in this case. It could be worth doing. Right, this is slightly awkward. I'm running out of things to shoot at. I might get some shots on the Slava. I think it must be that guy that was the sub that managed to nail me. Did RCV... You know, RCV never ever moved. Okay. They decided that they were just going to be an airfield. Yeah, there's not a lot left to shoot at the moment, which is mildly disappointing. I think probably the biggest handicap is it's not even the squashiness. It's probably that 28-second reload. Oh, 28 seconds and change. Although I've got Adrenaline Rush, so it's a little bit less. But for only having 6 guns, it's relatively painful. And there are times when having that high penetration AP will actually not be a useful thing. As there, where I got 4 overpens. So, yeah. You're going forwards again, aren't you? It's fine. We might get to shoot the Slava. We might actually want some HE for the Slava. Harugamo should be going down very shortly. There. Carriers. Oh, it's the Nebraska that's sending planes. Right, that's going to be their sub that's capping B. Catalonia is, I think, relatively low health. Yeah, we just need the spotting, really. That's going to have been Harugamo torpedoes, isn't it? Right, I don't really want to sort of charge in and face a Slava one-on-one. Oh, you're broadside now. Okay, let's definitely stick with the AP. There might actually be a case in terms of captain skills for taking the reload one that doesn't penalise you as much if you change shell types, and I can't remember the name of it now, but that one, which I typically only use on my Italian battleships. But yeah, if you find yourself needing to change a fair bit, then it might not be a terrible choice for this ship. Like, let's go to Sumechi, because he is angling a bit. One skill I have taken that's non-standard is heavy AP. And I really don't take that very often, if at all, on a battleship. But due to the nature of this battleship, given that it does have such good AP, it's actually not a bad choice. But it does mean that you have extra duration on fires and floodings. However, having said that, you can offset most of that extra duration with flags. So it's only a little bit extra. But if you took the flags and didn't have the skill, you would be having a nice bonus. Whereas if you do take the skill and do have the flags still, it is it's a slight malus in that case. It's like a 5% penalty rather than having a nice 20% bonus. Right, he's got a fire going on him, so let's go back to the AP. And as you can see, the front angles aren't great. We're getting both your turrets. That's a nice hit. He's concentrating on the Marceau at the moment. Hey, there we go. That's the first really good, solid connecting hit. He's about to be out of range, though. We might actually get to shoot at the Republic. Who put this island here? Honestly, very awkward. At least it's... I mean, it is a... like... one of the things that really does suit its playstyle is it is a fast battleship, even without even without the engine boost. Apologies, it really is very annoying. Even without the engine boost, it's something like 34 knots, and then of course you can slap a flag on that. So yeah, it's not that it's super maneuverable though. I mean, it's pretty decent for a battleship, but it's not cruiser-like maneuverability. Right, that sub got to live. 79k in a tier 10 game. Not terrible. And that put us about halfway up the team. So yeah, that's not too bad. I'll actually just quickly show you the captain skills. So yeah, pretty much standard apart from having super heavy AP shells. I could have used Philippe Oboino on this, but if that's how you pronounce it, but his it's actually on anything else at the moment. Let's just stick him on. There we go. He's only a 16-point captain, and most of his bonuses don't really gel very well with the champagne. So 2 million HP of potential damage. If you manage to get that in a champagne, you're probably almost dead anyway. You also get one, I mean, plus 1% fire chance for making a cap. I mean, 50% instead of 49%. It's not that big of a deal. And Dev Strike, I mean, that one could be useful. That's probably the only one that is useful. But getting a Dev Strike is going to be entirely RNG dependent, so yeah. Anyway, let's hit battle again. Hooray again! Double subs on a CV. One more DD this time, still only 2 cruisers. So it's better matchmaking overall. But still a pair of submarines. So that's not going to be too fun. So we're a little alone on this flank. There's myself, the closest battleship's that New Mexico. So I think we'll turn more towards the middle of the map to start with. I'm not really going to go too much further forward at this point, because it's not that kind of a ship. It really isn't. Which is kind of like this is against my usual play style. I tend to prefer to get in a bit closer, but sometimes that doesn't really work out very well. I mean, I say a bit closer. It's not like I always charge in face first and expect everything to work out. But it's definitely against my usual habits to like be just chuntering along the beeline and waiting for other people to spot for me. So you can see why I don't play this very often. It's not that, oh, I think it's a terrible ship. It's more that it just isn't really my kind of play style. Now, if I wanted even more range, by the way, I could have swapped out the fighter for a spotter plane and I could be shooting at that Martel right now. Well, actually, no, I would be struggling a bit with that island in the way, but I would be in range already. Right, you're going in a nice straight line. Let's try about there. Although, no, okay, you're turning away now. But yeah, I think with a spot plane, you can get like 30 kilometers. It's a bit silly. Right, that's the salmon. Don't know why. I just instinctively went for the, yeah, even though it was well outside range. No hope in hell of actually getting anything there. Right, Kagero, you are just kind of moseying into the A cap. See if I can help the Bishkevitsa. Oh, that was awfully close. That was awfully close indeed. Right, everyone else is staying equally far back, apparently, even though they're not in a champagne. I have an excuse, damn it. I'm not being a passive player, I have an excuse. Oh, right. I'm kind of relying on the mini-map to place that shot, but we'll see if I am able to land it. I feel a little bad picking on the Ismail, but it's the only thing that's really in range. The Amagi is actually heading south, okay. Yeah, it's not. It's not my first priority target, Ismail. But if it's what there is to shoot at, then it's what I'll shoot at. And everybody else seems to be on the other flank, just about. Right, cargo. Where are you going for? Acute carrier. That's a lie. I don't believe it. That makes me think they're a filthy weeb, probably. Are you coming for me, cargo? I think you might be. Let's put a fighter up. Yeah, I'll be able to see the AA output. It's not bad. But there's a reason I took a fighter. Oh, we're going to take two of those, aren't we? I could have only taken one, but it's fine. Oh, hello, salmon. Right, here's where some extended range secondaries would be useful. They're actually just in range. But, oh, nice. They must use damage control because I don't see any oil slick there. If I were the Briscovites, I would be turning around and zooming for that salmon. And going, mine, mine, mine. Just because, you know, who doesn't want a chance to nail a submarine? I think he is turning around, yes. Right, we might actually need to go. It feels weird going forward into a cap. But we might need to do it. Some maps are going to be more suitable for this ship than others, for sure. Just on the basis of like island cover, lines of sight and such. Yeah, the other flank. I guess just because they had that big blob of ships over there, it doesn't seem to be going all that well. But there's a limit to what you can do in a campaign in terms of the facing off against lots of enemy ships. Another reason why it's not necessarily my favourite playstyle. See if we get cheeky with the rear turret there. You never know. Citadel, very nice. Right, even the Ismail's guns. I mean, actually, no, I think I should be able to not take too big a hit from those, but it was still kind of painful. I think the 25mm plating still gives you some protection against, what is it, like 14-inch guns? Alright, let's see if we can finish off the Ismail. Just one fewer thing firing at us. Nice. Alright, this is kind of slightly not ideal. We're sort of in mid-range now to this Amagi, and it's really only the fact that they're focusing on the Amalfi. I think this is one of the things maybe in its favour is yeah, it's squashy, but not necessarily everybody knows it's squashy. If you meet somebody that does know it's squashy and starts to focus you, then okay, yeah, you've got a problem. But if people assume that, hey, you're just a standard battleship, then yeah. They might only start to prioritise you if they can get a broadside. I could use a heal. I guess we should really. Although it does have the detriment of actually increasing my reload a bit. Oh, here comes the pain. Oh, FR25. That's not a hugely common ship. Did you just give up on the... maybe. That salmon is still out there somewhere. Right, am I... ah, it's me in the New Mexico. Okay. The sturdier battleships have sunk. Having said that, the sturdier battleships, pretty much just the Tirpitz, Hawkers, of course, battle cruiser. Not the most sturdy ship itself. Have you got that? Okay, yes you do. Good, good. Always risky trying that with an Italian SAP cruiser. Oh, hello there, cargo. Right, we're going to actually have to turn, aren't we? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Right, I managed to only take one. Cancel that flooding. Hope my fighters take care of... no, he's going to get to make another drop. Okay. Ugh. Not ideal. No. Oh, and another drop. Fighters, you're fired. Well, seriously, what were you doing? Ah, right. You do have some torpedo mitigation, but it's not like super amazing. Seriously though, fighters. My fighter pilot, I'm gonna fire. Did he shoot down anything? No, the only thing that got shot down was by my AA guns. Excellent. Okay. Oh, also the salmon just did go up and around, is now chasing the Shikaku. Nick, I'll pick on somebody else, Kaga. Stop being mean. Of course, it being a cargo, you know, they get to be full squad still. Alright, I can try putting up my last fighter squadron. I don't know if it's going to do me much good, but... yeah. You're going to get to make another drop, aren't you? Yeah. Maybe I'd have been better off with the... like, I've used all of my fighter squadrons and they haven't shot down a single plane. Maybe I would have been... oh, hello, Bismarck. Oh, that was almost my doom. Maybe I would have been better off with the spotter. Right, I'm either going to die to a ship or to some... to planes here, so I don't think I'm going to last too much longer. I am about to have a heal back at least. So yeah, this is what happens when the sturdier ships die and you become the focus. Champagne does not last all that long at all. Champagne is a squashy boy. Oh! Okay. Oh, the fighters are doing something! Oh my god! That's slightly amazing. So yeah, if your team is rubbish, you're gonna have a hard time carrying in a Champagne. You really are. It cannot sustain any kind of damage trade at all. It's so squashy, and you've only got the 6 guns, and you don't have a super high. You don't have a super high reload or anything like that. So yeah. So that was unfortunate, but yeah, this team was definitely outmatched. So this amply demonstrates the downsides of the champagne, I feel. It can be very good, but if your team is struggling, it's sort of hard to make up the difference. You kind of need a good enough team that you can swan around at the back and be all snipery. Anyway, yeah, let's go back to port. I don't, alas, have time to record more. But, you know, as a French premium that's different than all of the other French premiums, it might well be worth dumping all of the resources in and getting yourself a ship without paying any doubloons for. Because if you have enough resources, I mean, this is why they've put this thing in here. This dockyard salvage doodad, salvage for victory or whatever they're calling it. The captain, by the way, it's just a unique portrait, doesn't have any particular skills. But yeah, if you have enough of these 4 resources, I would say absolutely go for it, even if you have to put some doubloons in, as long as it's not the full price of a tier 8 battleship. It might still be worth putting some in as well. Going the whole hog and getting the flag, which you can only get for doubloons, I'm not sure why you would do that. Unless you're just a complete completionist that has more money than sense. But, you know, the option's there if you want to, I suppose. So, yeah. So, yeah, champagne. It's all right. It's interesting. It's different. Not great for operations. I mean, you can use it in ops, but like I said, it's not really suited for the more short-range nature of ops. But for randoms, yeah, it can be interesting. It's just, it has a very kind of niche role to play. And if you're not really interested in that niche role, then it doesn't really do anything else very well other than that niche role. So hopefully you found this video interesting, and if you have, you can do all the usual things down underneath it, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.